Welcome, my friends, to the Marketing of the Minds podcast powered by Arcane Marketing, where we use innovative marketing solutions for growth-ready companies. I love being innovative. I'm going to be your host for this podcast specifically. My name is Ryan Harris. I am one of the co-founders and the Chief Innovation Officer for Arcane Marketing here. And in today's episode, I'm going to bring some of our powerhouse team members to a table to answer some of the questions you guys might have specific about marketing today, especially considering that the marketing world is a little bit crazy. So let me first introduce you to my friend Nate. Where are you at? I know you're here somewhere. He's coming soon, somewhere. Put your camera on if you're here, Nate. Nathan Hawks has over 10 years of marketing in the digital marketing world. And he's done some amazing work with organizations all across the world. And excited to have Nate here. He's the co-founder, visionary, and president of our company, Arcane Marketing. I've got my good friend, Mr. Artiste of the World, Chief Operations Officer, Chad. Say hi. Chad Russell's here.
Hi there. Chad's
the man. If you ever want to watch, Chad's like the modern day version of Bob Ross. You have to see his paintings one of these days, but the man can paint like a champ. As a matter of fact, I have a painting it's just outside of my office.
Chad, I love the little paintings. They're awesome.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna do plenty of those. I'm gonna start, passing them out.
Those are cool. Those are cool.
So if you need a painting, jump in line and send Chad a request. You can hit him up on Facebook. Call him. He answers. Yeah. He's good at that.
You can see my chicken too.
Yeah. We also have Jared Taylor, who's also one of our co-founders. He's been in the web marketing space for quite some time, the Chief Technology Officer. And Coulter's on here with us. We've got a great crew of people with us today. So we are ready to field your questions. Now, before we get started, I wanted just to kind of throw something in here really quick and just share. We all know that the marketing world is a little bit chaotic today. It doesn't have to be. And here's some statistics that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to open up for questions. The best way to do this, if you guys have an option on your screen to raise your hand if you have a question, you're welcome to throw it up there right now, and then we'll field your questions as it goes. If you don't, just throw it in the chat window if you have a question, and we can bring it up or ask you specifically. Nate shared some statistics with us this morning that social media usage is up 60%. Digital media usage in general is up significantly. And costs to advertise right now are lower than they've been, Chad, in how long? Probably a couple of years at least. Pay-per-click advertising is down 45%. Social advertising is down at least 40%. So the cost to acquire customers in today's market is cheaper than it's ever been. But yet we constantly see people who are pulling marketing budgets as a byproduct of that. And we want to have this conversation today to show you don't need to, but even more importantly, to share value with this crew of how can we best help you find answers to your questions in the world of marketing today. So if you have a question, type it in or say that you have a question. We'll chime in. I'm trying to pull up my chat feature here. I just realized I forgot to go broadcast this Facebook Live, so I'm going to pull it up on Facebook Live at the same time. There's the chat feature. Okay. Renee's own screen time is up significantly. My kids' screen time is up significantly because now they're learning from home. All right, let's start. Nate, Chad, talk to us about the world of Google. What's happening in the world of Google right now? And what are you guys seeing from an SEO perspective first, Chad? And then Nate, we're going to switch over to you to talk a little PPC.
Okay, cool. Y'all can hear me, right? Y'all got it? All right, cool. Obviously, if you're getting on Google right now, you're going to see lots and lots of I wouldn't say advertisements, a lot of notifications about COVID-19, what's going on. And what we're seeing, with a lot of our clients right now is they're kind of responding to this in their own ways. And one of the big things that they're doing, obviously, is they want to get the message across of how COVID-19 and this whole pandemic is affecting their business, and the kinds of things that they're letting their clients and their customers and their patients know about how they're handling this. And so a lot of the marketing that we're seeing right now is kind of moving away from a lot of the strategy that has been established with their marketing agencies or their own internal marketing teams, to kind of get on top of this, to let people know what's going on. One of the biggest things that I think that a lot of local businesses in particular need to be aware of is that Google My Business and the Google Maps, Google has rolled out a lot of really cool updates that can help you get your most pertinent and most time-sensitive information out in front of your customers and your patients or your clients, to let them know what's going on. Because first and foremost, I mean, one of the first things that I do when I've been going out into town, after I put my mask on, because everybody's sick and everyone's disgusting and spreading disease all over the place. But anyway, I want to know if businesses are open. I don't know if they are or not. And a lot of times I have to get up to the building and see a sign that says, hey, we're still open. So one of the biggest things I think a lot of businesses need to take advantage of is all these new changes that have happened in Google My Business, because it allows them to get this time-sensitive information in front of people's faces, so that you don't have to worry about your customers having to drive your business, find out if you have new hours. Most of the businesses, Albertsons and Fred Meyer's, and heck, even Michael's Craft Store, where I get a lot of my paint from, they have new hours. And so having that information up where people are searching for you is valuable. There's another feature that Google My Business came out with. They have special posts that are for COVID-19, and they have a little tag up on the top of them that is specifically made to kind of draw people's eyes to see, hey, what updates are happening with your business right now? What kind of things do you need to have your customers be aware of? Like Albertsons or Walmart right now is letting only so many customers come in at one time, and then they'll let more in as people leave the store. And so that kind of information in your Google My Business listing is going to be very helpful to your customers. So that's one of my biggest things right now, is use these tools that Google is giving us to stay in touch with your customers, with your patients, with your clients, to let them know all the updates that are happening. Because you don't want to lose business for any reason. Because your business information is wrong. Your customers, your clients will go to your competitors. So that would be one of my biggest takeaways. And then of course your website, keep it updated. Keep it updated with what's going on in your business and how it's impacting their sales and everything else that's going on. I don't know if it could go that deep into their sales, but how it's impacting regular business, right? And so take advantage of that. And another thing that we've been doing with a couple of our clients is that there's a lot of people that are home right now. Obviously, I'm working from home. Some people have more free time. They're on Facebook more. They're on the internet more because they're bored. They have nothing else to do. And for a couple of our clients, we've kind of shifted our blog strategy away from talking about their business and their services, and we're kind of focusing on what kind of information and what kind of resources can we give people who are stuck at home something to do. Like, for instance, for a chiropractor patient that we're working on right now, we're not even writing about chiropractic work. We're not even writing about massage therapy or auto accident injury doctors or anything like that. We're putting out blog posts about what are 10 really good apps that you can download on your children's Kindles or on their iPads that can help them keep up with their schoolwork, right? 10 really good educational apps that parents can use to keep their little brains from melting out of their ears. We all been watching Netflix, and we all know about the Tiger King, right? We're putting out blog posts that say, hey, what are the 5 or 6 really good shows that you cannot miss on Netflix right now, and just give them a little synopsis on those. And we're sharing those on social media just to kind of keep the sanity about us. There's going to be a lot of people who are just really thirsty for much more than what they're going to see in the news and reading all this bad news about, what this pandemic is doing. And people are really thirsty to kind of escape from that, especially when they're stuck home. So I think it's right now when it comes to Google search and SEO in particular, there's a really good opportunity out there to kind of expand your brand out more and give people more of a connection to yourself as a business. Because, you know, when these things aren't happening, we're trying to sell, and we're trying to sell ourselves, and we're trying to sell our clients, and try to convince people why they should use your clients' service or use your services. But right now, we're getting to the point where people they just want an escape from all this, and they want to, you know, have some sense or semblance of normalcy in their lives. So yeah, first of all, you know, take advantage. If you're a business that's open right now, make sure that you know how your Google My Business listing is. Make sure you're taking advantage of the really good features in there to help serve your customers as well as you can. And look into making sure that you're offering more to your clients and your customers and your patients. Give them more than just trying to sell yourself right now, because they already know who you are and what you do. But how can you help them through this? How can you help them keep their sanity and help them keep their humanity about them? And I think that, you know, during a time like this, people really, really want that togetherness. We don't see a whole heck of a lot of fighting right now in politics. Right now, they all just want to work together and do what we can to solve this and get through it. And so it's really.
Chad, I'm just wondering if you realize you still have your mask on while you've been talking.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you all are sick. No, you all are sick. I gotta keep it on. No, you all are sick. No way. I'm in my house right now, safe.
That's
yeah.
funny.
Anyway.
No, great.
Anyway.
So Chad, if they've never been to Google My Business, if they don't know how to change their listings in terms of hours of operation, updates on their Google My Business listing, what's the best, quickest way to get there to do that?
There's two ways. There's on your desktop computer. If you're stuck at home behind a laptop, it's, you know, go to just do a Google search. Google My Business, business.google.com. Also, the app, the Google My Business app is a fantastic app. It's really easy to use. And if it's just inspiration strikes, you can open that app up, put a post up. If something changes in your business, you can instantly open that app up on your phone, put in your information, and post it immediately. And Google has been, because of this, Google has let a lot of their workers go on furlough. They've kind of cut down. So any major changes that you make in business information, it may take a little bit of time for it to update, because Google's backed up, of course. But the posts go out almost immediately. And changes like business hours, they're pretty well on top of that to make sure that those hours can get updated. But if you're changing things like services, or if you're changing things like landing pages, your URLs, or even like business name, those changes may take a few days to go through. Also, if you're using a review acquisition strategy in your business to help bring in more reviews to your Google My Business and your Google Maps listing, just be aware that there is a little bit of a lag right now. I've been able to leave reviews for businesses around town, and some of the reviews are getting posted right away, but there's some of my reviews that are still pending. So if you're using a review acquisition strategy, just be aware and let your clients know if you're helping your clients with that, or if you're doing it yourself. Just be aware that some of these reviews are taking a little bit more time to post. And so it's not that they're not working, it's just that Google's kind of backed up right now.
Great.
So
any questions, guys? Any questions that you have for Chad? I know there's a lot of information very fast. Yes.
Just a comment. As a business owner, they're holding our replies to reviews.
Yeah, so they are, because those replies to reviews, they do get, I mean, they go through their Google's algorithm. They have to go through that. But a lot of times replies to reviews are manually checked to make sure that, one, you know, you're not berating customers if somebody's left a bad review, and two, they want to make sure that, you know, you're not spamming those replies or anything like that. So that is happening. We are seeing that. I'm seeing some replies get through, but a majority of them are kind of getting held up right now. So keep doing what you're doing, because it will all resolve and they'll all get pushed through eventually. So I would treat it like business as normal. If you're getting a new review come in, go ahead and reply to it. But just realize that reply may not show up immediately. It may take a few days, sometimes a couple hours, sometimes a couple days. It's been kind of inconsistent with it, but it's been much slower than it normally has. But just keep doing it.
Chad, I want to get back to you and talk about a review strategy here in just a minute, but I want to shift gears here for a minute. I want to talk pay-per-click with Nate. Nate, there's been a lot of announcements that have come out recently about how much money Google is willing to give away to help businesses, help small businesses specifically, run advertising for their business to drive additional clicks, additional revenue. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in the world of pay-per-click right now. You're muted, Nate. Might help if you weren't muted. Here, I'll unmute you.
It's like, I've never used Zoom before. I don't know how this works.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So good points. Google's tried. I don't know how well, because it seems like almost everybody we talk to goes, whoa, that's new information. But about 2 weeks ago, they came out and said that they're willing to give every business, and it's a little bit different, but up to, I think it's $340 in ad spend for free. Now, what I'm unclear on that ad spend that they're willing to just give to businesses is if you have to spend that and then they match, or if they just, I think that they're just giving it to you. You just have to have an account set up, and then there's a spot in the accounts, I think, that you can claim it. But that's $350 worth of advertising that you can get for free, that just by saying yes, just do it. So okay, a couple things I wanted to build on from what Chad was talking about that are really important. Something that's really interesting that's happening in the month of March. So traffic to Google was up 60%. It's at the highest traffic levels it's ever had. And the reason is because people are working from home, they're on their devices, they're on their phones, they're on their laptops, and their day-to-day nuances of the habits and things that they do are a little bit less monitored, right? When you're at home, you just kind of do whatever, you work as you can and you parent as you can, or you do whatever it is that you want, or you raise a little chicken, right? Anyways, there's more traffic to Google than there ever has been. Traffic is up 60%. Cost per engagement, cost per click in Google Ads is down 40% from the 1st of March to the end of March. 40%. Now, what that means specifically is that if you were spending $100 to get 20 clicks, right? Instead of spending $100 to get those same 20 clicks, now you're spending 56 or 50 or 60 bucks approximately. I'm sorry. This morning, I think the stat I heard was down 44%. So that's why I was saying that. It was $56 to get the same interaction, the same amount of clicks that normally would have cost $100 to get those same 20 clicks at the beginning of March. So there's two parts that go on opposite ends of the scale, right? One part is that traffic is higher than it's ever been. You have a bigger audience than you ever have. And the second part is it's less expensive than it has been in years to engage with them. And the biggest reason why that's happening is because most people are pulling back their budgets. A lot of people who are not, they're looking in the short term, they're not looking in the long term. They're making their budgets kind of scale back. Now, we have a handful of clients that have increased budget on their paid search side, and business hasn't slowed down for them. It's great. In fact, we have a couple, and Ryan and Chad can confirm this. We have a couple that are doing better than they've ever done. They're being progressive in their budgets. It's great, right? And I wish all of our other clients could just kind of see the details of what they're doing. But okay, a couple of things. One is that that is interesting is this month, in the last 30 days, we've seen a reverse in a trend. So you've heard for years and years that mobile traffic is increasing, and it got to a point where I think it's 2 years ago for the very first time we had mobile traffic exceeded desktop traffic. So then Google's been pretty progressive in the last year. They've activated mobile first indexing, which means if your website is mobile friendly or a mobile device, that you would get preference over those that don't have mobile device friendly websites. Well, in the month of March, it's actually reversed. The month of March, we saw a higher search traffic coming from desktops than we saw from mobile devices for the first time in 2 years. And it was a sliding scale. We had mobile catching on desktop at a really fast scale. I don't know exactly what the growth rate was, but it reversed in the month of March, which is really unique. So the opportunities that presents in Google Ads, or actually before Google Ads, first thing is one thing to build on for Chad, talking about Google My Business, is within Google My Business, you can make a post. And the posts show up in your Google My Business listing for 7 days. And the post can be sweet and short. I want to say 2 sentences or so, and then you can include an image. You can talk about the fact that you're open or you're not open, or you're doing deliveries, or you're doing over the phone consultations, or whatever the case may be. But Google Posts are a really great way to get engagement. We found that people who are active and consistent with doing those posts week after week see a substantially higher amount of interaction from clicks than those that don't. Okay. The other thing is for Chad about Google My Business is that as of February 1st of 2020, Google reported that only 38% of all businesses had claimed a Google listing. 38%. So that means that 62% are still unclaimed. Okay. If you haven't done it, claim it. It's easy to do. But then beyond that, of those 38%, only 40% of those had what they called a complete listing. There's a lot of times when we get in to look at some of these Google My Business listings, and there's all kinds of information that's just not there. All you have to do is just put the information, maybe it's your business hours or the days you're open, or what kind of payments you accept, or a menu, or your services, or are you a minority or a woman-led or a military-owned business? All these different options they give you. So one of the hacks for Google My Business is just make sure you fill out everything. If Google gives you an opportunity and you don't take it, their preference goes to those companies that do. So if it's becoming neck and neck with you and another company, and they've done a good job of pulling up their Google My Business listing and you haven't, they'll get the preference before you. Just so you know, it's like Google gives the opportunity, and if you don't take advantage, then they don't give you any love. Now, that being said, you do have to look at what your competitors are doing. You have to see what their profiles look like, just see what's been filled out, what hasn't. But the tip is fill out everything that you can. If you can fill it all out, you get the preference. Okay, so into pay-per-click. One of the other things is we are seeing success in kind of two or three different areas. One is a lot of people don't take advantage of, and they should, local ads. Now, what local ads mean is when you go to Google, and maybe everyone should do this, open up a new tab and go to Google and just type in, best dentist near me. Just type that in. And what you'll see is at the top of the page is usually a couple of ads, and then there's the map listing, okay? If you're looking at the map listing, if you have claimed your Google My Business listing and you have a Google Ads account, then you can connect them and you can actually run an ad so that before the letter A shows up on the map listing, that you can actually see an ad. And at least for me, locally here in Idaho Falls, I can see that there is a dental practice that is doing that right now. And they're showing up before the first listing in the maps. Okay, if you can take advantage of those free ad dollars from Google, the $340 they're willing to give you, and you claim your Google My Business listing and you set up a Google Ads account, here's a free place to get a whole bunch of clicks, and they're cheap, right? When you're looking at doing the Google Maps, clicks are very, very inexpensive. I think that the last stat that I read, maybe it was a couple months ago, is those clicks are 40% less expensive than the standard clicks elsewhere in the search engine results pages. So more clicks, free money, claim your free listing, fill it out. Okay, but as far as running specific kinds of ads, there are two different types of ads that we found that are working really well. The first one is display ads. And it's interesting when you have display ads and you're seeing this trend where you see desktop search has surpassed mobile search in the last 30 days, display ads tend to work better. And the display ads are easy. They're usually just a mouse click. It's an image that you can upload into your Google Ads account. If you need more, I'll just leave it there. If you need more information about digital, the display ads, or maybe we'll just revert to a question at the end. Let's just say that you can ask about it, but display ads is one. The second one that we're seeing really success right now is video ads. You can do quick 5-second, 10-second videos and running them in an ad and uploading them into your ad account. And that almost kind of brings on another part, and we can talk about it a little bit, but videos in and of themselves are kind of a marketing hack. And this goes into social media, this goes into SEO, this goes into pay-per-click, goes into emails, but video is the #1 consumed media. In fact, in 2019, 85% of all media consumed online was video. So there's an opportunity there now. And here's the other thing is that when you're looking to do SEO, video is like cheating, right? Because we know for one reason, Google owns YouTube, okay? And we know that to rank a video in a search engine results page is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50 times easier to rank for a hard keyword than an actual web page. If you put up a video and you optimize it, you've got it in YouTube, you're taking advantage of all the tags that you can in YouTube. If you're doing it right, it's easier to rank that video in the search engine results pages 50 times easier than it is to get a page on your website to do the same thing. So it's like cheating. Do videos, and then you can take those videos. You can use things like iMovie, Movie Maker. There's a whole bunch of free video editing software pieces out there. Break them down into little chunks. Put them up on Facebook. Put them up on Instagram. Use them in your Google Ads. So, anyways, guys, all of that, any of the normal costs you'd have, down 40% to appeal to an audience that's 60% larger than normal. Now, last point I want to bring, and I'll turn it back over to you, Ryan, is that during this time, here's what you have to realize. People are still shopping. My wife last night on Amazon, and Jane, my wife likes to shop on Jane, she's still shopping, but just doing it online, right? There are people who are still shopping. Now, maybe your physical location is closed, but there are people who are still looking. So here's the caveat in this, is that what's happening right now with the economy and people who are shopping, where everyone's kind of a little resistant, not sure, and or you're getting people who are filing for unemployment or have maybe a slight loss in income, what that does is you're honing out and focusing in a little tighter on the real customers. You have less fluff to sort through, and the people who are your customers, or the people who that we are appealing to, are real customers. The ones that are ready to spend the money are the more serious ones. So anyways, okay, that's all the
great hacks.
action I've got for you right now.
That's a lot of really good information. So we've covered anything from Google My Business to search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, and lots of really good stuff. JT, Jared Taylor, jump on here for a second. I want to chat with you and tell us a little bit about, if you're here with us, make sure you're still paying attention. Hopefully you guys are all paying attention. There we go. Jared's here with us. Jared, talk to us a little bit about, we have a lot of conversations with clients about the ease and simplicity of Wix, or the ease of Squarespace, and some of these other software programs that people can use to build websites. Tell us about some of the pros and the cons of using that versus an open source WordPress or things of that nature.
That's a great question. I know a lot of people are turned on by Wix and Squarespace and GoDaddy's Website Tonight type platforms because of the ease and simplicity. They are very simple to use. They empower their customers to build those websites and make them look fairly decent if they've got good templates. So the advantages are they're easy to use for most users, and they can get a product out the door fairly quickly. The disadvantages is they don't always have all the functionality for search engine optimization best practices. I mean, they do have pieces of the puzzle, but you're just limited to so many extents on what you can do on those platforms, and by design in a lot of cases, just because there's a lot of those things are advanced techniques. we tend to prefer 99% of the time, an open source platform like WordPress, just because it is so forward proof. It's so expandable. There are limitless opportunities to expand. And so the way I like to say it is it's a foundation that we can build upon. If they want to turn it into a shopping cart for e-commerce at some point in the future, we can build it on. If they want it to be a membership site, we can build it on. If they want it to be a learning management site, if they want it to be, at the end of the day, whatever they want it to be, we can turn it into that fairly quickly. And there are limitless options to make that happen. And it's supported by so many people out there. I like to say, if we get hit by a bus, or if our relationship comes to an end for whatever reason, or if people just want to move different directions, they can pick that up and have anybody else help them service that and help them. So it doesn't handcuff them to anybody specifically as well. And so it just gives people so many more options. Whereas, those out of the box solutions like Wix and Squarespace, they do have limited options. That said, it can be the perfect solution for a lot of people. I'm not saying it's not, but when they really want to take it to the next level, you run into those challenges. You can't easily turn it into a membership site. You can't easily. They do have limited, e-commerce options now. They've come a long ways, but when we really want to take it to the next level with marketing, we do run into limitations often. So that's really where we can take it to the next level with those other options.
Nate or Jared, tell us a little bit about the difference between, Nate talked a little bit earlier about mobile friendly versus desktop friendly websites, recognizing obviously that there's an increase in viewership on desktop devices right now because of the nature of COVID-19. What do you foresee moving back, April, May, June? April's probably going to be more desktop, but May, June, July, if someone doesn't have a website that's mobile friendly, is that going to be as important as it has been discussed in the past? Or are we looking at a time when, mobile friendliness isn't necessarily a key critical factor for Google's algorithms to identify, search criteria in search rankings and website rankings and things of that nature?
That's a great question. And while I can't look into the future, I don't doubt that mobile friendly is still going to be important and probably a priority. Even though people are more on their desktops now, potentially, there's still a lot more people still mobile. They're on their couches surfing on their phones or their tablets still. And so I don't doubt that mobile first is still going to be important and a very important piece of that puzzle. So I wouldn't not continue to make sure your sites are mobile friendly.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. I think with users, as I've watched, as I've navigated my own home, right, we have 2 desktops and we have way too many mobile devices. And when my kids and my wife are surfing, it's rare that they get out of bed or get off the couch and go search on a desktop versus just searching on their mobile device while they're there. So great insights, JT. Thanks for your feedback. I appreciate it. Any questions that have come to mind for any of you that are with us? I want to shift really quick into the world of social media, but are there any questions that have come up about your business, right? What concerns are you having with your business right now, and what things have you thought about, or what areas do you need help in that we could discuss here for a minute?
Hey, I have a question for Nathan. On that Google grant or whatever they're calling it, do you have to ask for it, or do they just apply it if you're spending money?
Nate's muted. Hold on. Go ahead, Nate.
There we go. In your account, there's a place where you can go and request it. So I think what's happening, I really need to get clarification on it. Google's giving it, but I think you just have to say, I want it. But if you don't, they're not going to give it to you. Go ahead. Chad's got it.
Chad's got an answer.
So there is what's that?
Don't get anybody sick.
No. Oh, no, not here. No, you won't be getting this from me. So I'm going to share in the chat here. Let's see here. Let's see, how do I share to everyone? So I'm going to share this link. So check this out, Renee. This is from Google. It's called COVID-19 Ad Credits for Google Ads, Small and Medium-Sized Businesses. And down in the frequently asked questions, it says, how and when will eligible customers receive the ad credits? And the answer is small and medium businesses worldwide that have been active advertisers since the beginning of 2019. So you've had to have been using Google Ads since all of last year, will be informed within the coming months through notifications within their Google Ads account. So I would definitely make sure that your notifications are up and you're checking those regularly. And this is probably going to be as slow as the federal government is in getting our stimulus checks to us. And it might be a couple of months before we see that, but they're going to do it. And this thing's not going to end tomorrow. And this is, you know, we're going to be feeling the impact of this pandemic for a while. So even when it does start rolling out, I think there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be happy that it happens.
Good. Great job, Chad. Thanks for your feedback. Okay, I want to just shift gears here for just a quick minute to the world of social. I love the world of social media, and I believe that social media right now is probably one of the most powerful tools, because who isn't on a social application at least 95 times a day? No, I don't say 95. I mean, people usually aren't on that much. But it's interesting, if you've ever watched, I've been reading a new book called Mind Hacking. And in that book, it talks specifically about how our subconscious mind is so powerful and it does things that we don't even realize are happening. And I've been tracking the number of times I've been checking apps over the last 2 days, and it's ridiculous. So even someone who's in the world of social media, that loves the world of social media from a business perspective, and sometimes hates the world of social media from a personal perspective, there's a huge amount of leverage that can be had in social because people are checking in on each other, right? We are more socially disconnected and emotionally disconnected than we ever have been. And so people are legitimately trying to find each other and connect with each other authentically through social media, through Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever applications you like, you know, all the swipey apps, whatever, right? There's lots of ways to swipe out there. There's lots of ways to check in, check out. But the reality is there is more attention in the world of social than there's been in a long time. As a matter of fact, I am noticing right now when I pull up a Facebook Live event to give information about what happened in the day and just share some thoughts and insights, there are more people that are checking in on Facebook Live events than I've seen probably since the beginning of Facebook Live. I mean, I'll have 20 to 30 people on with me in certain times, and it's incredible to me because that doesn't happen right now. The algorithm has changed, the attention has changed, but like Nate said, the attention is coming back to digital media and social media more than it ever has been. And so couple quick hacks that I might suggest. Can you create a virtual experience for your customers? Can you create a virtual experience for your customers so they have a chance to see the inside of what's happening, or the behind the scenes of what's happening in your business? If you can do it, right? I saw the other day there was a post, a friend of mine mentioned that Disney has created a virtual experience for their rides. If you're not motion sick and you want to enjoy it, just Google that, find it, and you can go on almost any of their rides in a virtual experience. If you have a kid, it's kind of fun. You put them in a clothes basket and stand behind them and you like give them the experience of the ride, right? I have a buddy that did that. It was so fun to watch the reaction. If you can give your customers an experience, do so, right? Even if you're talking about, you know, Rachel, I know you work at the zoo in Pocatello. Talk about what's happening. Talk about the animals. Give people a back-end experience, because this is going to go away in the next little bit. But the more value you provide to the marketplace today, the better. Chad mentioned that. Nate mentioned that. The more value you can give to your potential and current customer base right now, the better. So Facebook Live is very important. Facebook Stories is extremely powerful. Instagram Stories is extremely powerful. Instagram posts are very powerful. Recognize the value of leveraging influence as well. Yeah, I mean, Debbie said here, I've even seen live cameras from zoos and aquariums. If you don't have that already, try to figure out a way to create that environment and then host it and stream it so people can have that experience. I mean, again, and think about this, like this doesn't have to be the only time that we leverage technology to stream something about our business. Transparency is a way to build trust in a business. I know my good friend Renee here, Renee Oswald, she's mentioned that many times with their business, that they leverage transparency as a way of building trust in the world of car repair and things of that nature, oil changes and their service repair organization. That can be a scary thing, right? Because I don't know how many times I've taken my car somewhere and the bill was a lot more significant than I expected. And being able to work with like an organization like Oswald Service and Repair has been a huge trust builder for me, because I know that if they recommend something, that I probably should do it, even though I don't do it all sometimes. Just probably should do it even more. But so build. And the other thing that I might suggest in terms of social, find a way right now. Nate talked about Google pay-per-click. Jared talked about websites. Chad talked about SEO. Talking about social, recognize that you have to create a good user experience for your customers. Your website, your search engine optimization, your pay-per-click advertising, your social media efforts all have to be congruent. The message has to be similar. It has to be the same. It has to have the same look and feel. It's going to increase the number of clicks to your website. It's going to decrease the cost per acquisition, because not only Facebook and Instagram right now are really looking at the customer experience. If you put an ad together, even an organic post, and it's leading them to an external website that looks nothing like what you're talking about, it'll diminish the organic reach instantaneously. So make sure there's a cohesive nature. If you don't have, and I'm going to take a step back and even say higher level, if you don't have a brand guide for your business, build one. That means font styles, colors to use, logo. Like if you don't have one of those, get one in place. It makes it a lot easier from a marketing perspective, right? Those are all things that you need to make sure you're taking care of. And then finally, and I think next week what we're going to talk about is I want to talk a little bit more about tracking. How can we track this information? We're claiming that cost per clicks are lower, but how do you know? What are the things that you can put on your website? What are things with Google Analytics, Facebook Pixels? What are things that you can leverage today to understand the return on investment of the dollars you are spending in the world of digital media? So pay close attention to our next webinar. We're going to be doing these webinars every Thursday. Master of the Minds Marketing of the Minds. I think I said Master of the Minds. Marketing of the Minds podcast.
Isn't this, don't you mean
Thursday
Monday?
or Monday?
Whatever
Monday.
day this is.
We have another one on Thursdays. What, are we going to have like 20
What
of these
day
a
is
week?
it? Is it quarantine 5 of 21 or what?
Every day
Mondays.
is Monday. Every day is a Monday.
It feels like a Monday and then another Monday and then 5 more Mondays. And we're going to bring some more information about video content. Miles will be here with us. We're going to be talking about all sorts of marketing, and we want to jump in and talk a lot about that coming next Monday, 1:30 to about 2:15. If you have a question, though, feel free to jump in, chime in, raise your hand, say hello. We're here to help, my friends. Reach out to us during the week. You can find us on Arcane Marketing Facebook page. You can find Chad, Bob Ross Jr. You can find Narhan with us somewhere. JT, we're all here to help you guys out. So
I just wanted to just throw a quick shout out to Byron. If you ever decide you want to get on this and go live and do some DJing, he's going to bring you some viewers. So good job, Byron. Hi, Julie. How you doing?
Not a problem.
That was so good. Like, that was amazing.
good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
That was just, yeah, that was
We've
a
recorded
lot of
this.
information.
We recorded it. So so for playback, for anybody that wants to use it for playback, you're welcome to. Juliana, do you have a
appreciate
question
that.
for us?
Oh, I don't want to embarrass Chad. I'll say something. and he'll be
Julie's
like,
my
"Oh my
sister.
Oh, there we go.
Julie's my sister.
Because he knows that I pretty much suck at all this stuff, but I want to know more, but it's amazing. This was really good.
Good.
It makes me know everything it is a lot. It's a lot.
We're just scratching the surface, Julie. We're just scratching the surface. We've shared Info 101. We're going to dive deep into a lot of different types of marketing on this podcast, video cast, whatever we're going to call this. Who knows? We're just creating.
You should make it well, if you want to. I mean, if you want to give away that much, geez.
Oh, yeah.
But it's amazing. Like, that was really good. I will be back.
Thank you.
And I'll hopefully bring some people with me because it was really good. Thank you.
Tag your friends, bring your family members, whatever you want to do. We are here. We're just getting this started, but we will be back next Monday, 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And bring your questions as well. We always love when a business comes ready with questions. You'll get the chaotic minds of Chad, Nate, Jared, Miles, Coulter. Sometimes we'll all be here. Sometimes a few of us will be here, but come and join us. We'd love to have you with us again.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.